Hey, what's going on, guys? Andrew here, back at you with, and welcome back to my top 15 decades, or top 12 Tuesdays list. And as you know, I'm doing the top 15 of the decades now for the next 5 weeks. This ought to be interesting. So, obviously up first is I got 70's, because I actually only have 2 with me here of 60's films, and they're both Hitchcock films, so Psycho and The Birds. I'm actually about ready to watch The Birds probably on like Thursday. I really love this movie. I actually have only watched it once though, and I haven't watched this Blu-ray, but the transfer is pretty good. And then Psycho, which I'll be watching again this month too, probably next week at some point. But yeah, this is the steelbook my brother bought me. I still love this steelbook. It's so cool. Really, really awesome, yeah. So those are my only 2 60's films I have. Also, my brother has Rosemary's Baby. Oh, no, I do have Night of the Living Dead also. I can't forget about that. It's another 60's film, but this is public domain, so everybody owns it, technically. But yeah, then Rosemary's Baby's with my brother. So, yeah. And then, with that being said, these are my top 15 of the 1970's. So, I actually have exactly 15, I think, of 70's films. So, this ought to be interesting. I know my brother has quite a few others that I don't have in this one, so that's cool. So, if you check out his videos, he has some on here that I won't have, and definitely some of them are going to be different. So number 15 for me is going to be Alien. Actually, I've only seen this twice the whole way through. The thing is that I really wasn't interested in a story-based film, in a slow, atmospheric film both times I watched this. So I didn't really enjoy this film both times. I really wasn't in the mood, and again, I know what this film's like, so I really, like, I was definitely more in the mood for Aliens. But yeah, so I definitely want to watch this again whenever I'm in the mood, because I know it's a really well shot film, really well made. The effects are great. It's just I've never been in the mood to watch it whenever I've watched it, and I honestly haven't been in the mood to watch it in a while, but I'll probably try to watch this like in January or something to see if I like it again. Yeah. Up next is a film I've only seen once, but had an impact on me, is I Spit on Your Grave. This is the first of the 2 rape revenge films on my list, as you probably can guess what the other one is, in the 70's. Yeah, this is a really haunting movie. I would say it's definitely more psychologically terrifying, or like it's definitely more on-screen brutality, and definitely takes the on-screen stuff to a whole new level that Craven did not even dare to do in his film. But yeah, this is definitely depravity at its worst. Actually, maybe not. Maybe The Walking Dead Negan might be I don't know. But yeah, anyways, this is really well made. Really well made in the sense that this had no budget, and it is fine for what it is. It's definitely a story that sticks with you for a while. Again, like I said, I love them for like the moral dilemma that you find yourself in. So, number 13 is going to be, now if I showed this, you won't think. Is going to be The Exorcist 2. You forget that that's a 70's movie also. Again, this is, if you remember, this is on my top 10 unfairly hated, or top 12 unfairly hated. I definitely do think this movie gets a lot more hate than it deserves. I think for what it was trying to do, it does a really good job at it, and I honestly enjoy it for what it was. So, yeah, hate me for it. I thought that Linda Blair does a good job. And yeah, I thought that it was a really good story. Up next, number 12 is Wes Craven's Last House on the Left. First of my 2 Wes Craven films on this list. He only made, no, actually, he made 3, and I forgot to put that on this list. Damn. I'll have a shout out after this, I guess, then. I totally forgot about one of his other movies that takes place in the 70s. Last House on the Left. Again, another rape revenge film. Love the moral dilemma. And this one actually is a lot deeper than I Spit on Your Grave, because I Spit on Your Grave is definitely like this brutal on-screen rape revenge. But this one is definitely deals with a lot of symbolic. He wrote it as a like symbolic gesture of like the Vietnam War. Like we were getting all this whitewashed, like we were heroes of the Vietnam War, and our soldiers were just doing appallingly terrible violation of human rights there. I mean, we were just being awful, and it was an unnecessary war to be in and to begin with. So Wes Craven really wanted to show the brutality of, you know, what is humanity. So like he does this, and then he also has these, you know, metaphors for the, you know, the hippie movement and everything. So yeah, I do really appreciate his film. Actually, I have it right here, and I totally forgot about this. This is from 1978, I want to say it was. Yeah, this one probably actually would have been my number 15, but this is Summer of Fear. Really love this movie. I've watched it once. I watched it with my brother, and we both loved it. So it definitely makes my list. It totally slipped my mind, and it was right in front of me. So yeah, that was a little out of order, but back, I think I'm on number 11 now, and that's The Hills Have Eyes, another Wes Craven movie. Yeah, Wes Craven's don't quite make my top 10 on this list, but I don't know. But yeah, the Hills Have Eyes is definitely another, you know, it definitely has a similar feel of like this dark, foreboding, you know, atmosphere of Wes Craven's earlier films, you know, like, you know, these two. Yeah, it definitely is a really well-made film for the budget they had. I think they had like a $300 and some thousand budget, and what they did in this, the thing that he can do better than anybody, again, I've said this multiple times before, is just tell a story that's just so good. It's just so, yeah, I love how he can just tell a story like that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, this is the number 10. So coming in number 10 on the list is Jaws 2. Again, I went back and forth on putting Jaws 2 below these, but the thing is that I think I do enjoy watching these more. Obviously, I don't really enjoy watching, you know, rape revenge films, but that train's taking a long time to go through here. But yeah, Last House on the Left is definitely one, but again, this is one that I would enjoy watching more. This is definitely nowhere near as good as the original, but this is still an enjoyable film. It's, you know, it's got those stupid teenagers doing stupid things, and you know, it's definitely got some really cool shark kills, and it has some really creepy scenes like this one. And I do like the artwork on this film. You know, it's just really creepy, you know, to me. I just really like this artwork. Man, maybe even, I don't know, but almost as good as the original. I do like this artwork. And the final showdown's really cool too. It definitely suffers for some other issues, like the boat scene where she's like doing, and I laughed so hard when I saw that. Number 9. My only Stephen King one on this list, and that is Salem's Lot. Yeah, this is technically a mini-series, but it counts as a film. You know, me and my brother watched this. How long ago was that? Was that like 3 years ago? And honestly, I haven't watched it since, because one, it's so scary, and two, it's 3 hours long. I mean, I'm just not gonna sit down and watch this. Even to break it up for 2 nights, I don't know. I just don't really watch it that often. It's definitely a good story of, like, you know, coming to a small American town taken over by a vampire. It's just a really cool story. Yeah, I'd really like to read the book to see how different it is. They also remade that too, which I don't remember much about the remake. Up next, number 8 is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. No need to say much about this one. Definitely a really great film, really well made for the budget that it had. yeah, I mean, it just stands the test of time. Um, Number 7 is The Wicker Man. For me, both The Wicker Man and The Wicker Man might get an 8, but I gave the original Texas Chainsaw a 7.5. But this movie, man, like, I'm not gonna give it away, but honestly, it took me a week to get over the ending to this movie. It was such a good story, and the ending was just haunting. Like, man, it was such a good film. Oh man, this was such a great performance by Christopher Lee, and it's a really, really well-made film. I love it. Yeah, number 6 is Dawn of the Dead. Yeah, I have the Ultimate Edition again. I like showing this one. It's so good. I've watched all 3 versions now. I watched the Argento version. I've watched the original, and then the director's cut. I do prefer, it depends on my mood. If I'm definitely in the mood to just watch more of Dawn of the Dead, I definitely watch the director's cut. And then if I'm wanting to just watch it for most of its action, I watch the Argento cut, because it definitely is about an hour and 50 minutes. It's the shortest cut, and it definitely has the most action in it of all of them. So you get the same story, but it's definitely a lot more faster paced. Definitely enjoy this movie. It's so fun. Got so much fun characters. Ken Foree's so good in this. The special effects just look goofy with Tom Savini. But yeah. And then number 5 is gonna be Suspiria. Yeah, this is, again, it's Argento's masterpiece. It's such a such a beautifully shot film. Yeah, I mean, everybody says the same thing about it. It's so beautifully shot. It's such a, the score combined with the cinematography just goes so well hand in hand. Pretty basic story, but for what it does, it does it really well. Yeah, it's just so good and so hypnotizing. It just sucks you in, and you just watch it and you're just like, man, this is like, I just can't explain it. Number 4, this, I went back and forth. I honestly had Suspiria at number 4, but then I put this at number 4 because, I don't know, I probably see myself watching this more than Suspiria, and that's Jaws. The only reason I say that is because I just like Jaws to me has a lot more, it's a lot more fun to watch. It's for as like hypnotizing as Suspiria is, I'll probably watch this one more just because it's a combination of really good horror, really good action and adventure. It's really good thriller. It's got everything in one movie. Good drama too. And yeah, the cover to this is just so haunting. But yeah, it's just so fun. Like, the final 20 minutes of this movie is just so enjoyable, and it's just a good time. And all of the performances in this movie are just oh, so good. And Spielberg does a great job of directing. Number 3 is gonna be the original Amityville Horror, 1979. I remember watching this movie when I was a kid. I love this cover, how it's got like the forest all dark and everything, and the house glows and the red eyes. Yeah, it's just like, I just love all the performances. Everything is like so over the top in this movie, but like the score to this movie is everything, I think. And like the story of what happens in this movie, I think, are both what makes this movie. I think the performances are not that good, but Rob Steiger, because he is so good. I mean, he won an Academy Award, so that explains everything. But other than that, like, the movie isn't, like, it suffers from special effects problems. The cinematography isn't the best. But it just, like, the story's so good and the score is so great, and the cinematography is good enough that, like, it really makes you feel like the house is a presence in this film. So, yeah. Number 2 should be no surprise, is the original Halloween. Don't need to say much about this film. It's so good. I mean, it's just a masterpiece. Cinematography, score, I mean, it's story. It's great. And number 1 should not come with further, you know, to say. Number 1 is the original Exorcist. You know, it's just a masterpiece. You know, it's no surprise that it's you know, so remembered, and it's on pretty much everybody's like number 1 of scariest films of all time, and number 1 best horror films. You know, it's like you know, it's just, again, my favorite character ever is, you know, Father Karras, and all the characters, you know, form this special, great, like, they're all great in their own special way, and the direction's so solid. It's just such a great story. Yeah, so again, that's my personal top 15 of the decades of the 70s. 16 technically, because I, you know, forgot about one. But yeah, so that's it for my list. Again, I'd like to hear some of your guys's where you have it differently, or, you know, you think some are better than others. But yeah, just let me know your thoughts. And then, of course, next week is the 80s, which, again, everybody that makes probably an 80s list is probably going to have an impossible time making it. So I'm making it easier on myself. Easier. I'm gonna release 2 videos next Tuesday, and I'm gonna have one of top 15 of 1980 to 84, and then top 15 of 85 to 89. Because, I mean, honestly, I could do a top 100 list of 80s films, but this is just a better way to kind of break them down and to see some of the films that I like in both parts of the 80s. So yeah, that ought to be a fun list to go over, because, you know, 80s slashers are my favorite subgenre, and just slashers in general, I guess. But then, you know, there's some other great masterpiece of films from the 80s too, so this ought to be really fun. But thanks, guys, for tuning in. You know, be looking out for my review. Actually, on Thursday, I will be releasing 2 random reviews this week. I will be doing the Boogeyman trilogy, because I'm actually starting all 3 of these films tonight. So you'll get that on Thursday. And then on Friday, you'll be getting the Neon Demon as well, because I'll probably watch the Neon Demon again Thursday night. I love the film. Just so beautiful to look at. So I'll just probably end up watching it again. But yeah, thanks, guys, for tuning in. I'll see you again on Thursday. That's in 2 days, and with another review of the Boogeyman trilogy, and let you know my thoughts on it, because you know, I got a couple, you know, people telling me to watch the other 2 in the series, so I wanted to let everybody know what my thoughts were on all of them. So thanks, guys. Have a great day, and I will see you in a couple days.